Yeah, I think we can get started from here. What we do is we will do a cosmetic changes to the application. When I say cosmetic changes, right? So we will understand. We will let's say even for example get request, right? For example, let's say 151 like a 51 line to 61 line. So this is talking about get records, for example. So where is the so here user table should be present. And if you look at, there is one PDF shared document has been shared to you where I have clearly like given instructions like how this can be executed. So before running your application, your DB should be set up and a table should be available. Data should be present. Okay, if data is like optional, right? That should be still fine. Okay. So for example, when I execute this, uh, our application is running. Okay, and let me open Postman. So Postman is a testing tool. I repeat so many times, but if you just couldn't get it, like what is Postman, right? So this is a testing tool for what we can say for backend developers. We use this tool extensively. Okay, extensively in the sense that uh, front end work and back end work starts simultaneously. So that's where we need to use Postman to test our backend services. This will all not required. I can close them off directly, delete everything. Let me clear some space out here because it doesn't look good. All right, now there is no record. Yeah, yes. When we are working on any project, right? What basically we should do is we should create a directory in the Postman. Let me quickly help you out understanding how we can create directories and uh, properly organize our stuff. Okay. See, when you open Postman, you will exactly see this kind of window. Okay, and what you have to do is you need to create. See, when you are working on a project, right, you will be working in a single project or multiple projects. Okay, but when you are working, why I'm saying you will be working on the backend side of the application. And when it comes to application, right, so our application only not talking about our application, right? So we need to integrate our application with external APIs also, external applications also. For example, integrating Facebook and Instagram, integrating Facebook and WhatsApp, right? So these are all integrations required. In that case, what we have to do is for each and a project we have to create one directory, one folder. Okay, if you go here, there is collections. If you click there, create a collection. Create a collection in the sense like a folder. Okay, we just create a collection. Now I want to name it, let's say, um so since we're at cakes and app, for example, so my folder name is cakes and app. Understood? In this, if you want to test any let's say for example, imagine this service, the one which we were currently running, right? So this one. This is not, oh sorry, not this one. We were running the PyCharm ones, right? So let me close other ones. Not required. Okay, good. So here when it comes to this, there are two project open. Yeah. If you look at this, we have created a simple backend API service, right? Did you see it here? Okay. And when it comes to this particular use case, we had a what is the API name? So get records. Right? Generally, when it comes to API, right, we don't use underscore. Instead, we use dash. Okay, get dash records. This is API name. And since the application is already running, if you see the application is already running, right? So whenever there is a change, so w- this is not automatically what we can say. When you save it, if you just do a save, automatically application will restart. Did you see it? So currently application is this. Let me make some changes here. Let's say add a equal to 10. Does not make any sense. But if I do a control plus s, right, application automatically restarted. Did you see it? To reflect with the actual change. Okay. So when this will work, right? So generally, when you are setting this default to debug, let's say app.run debug equal to true, this would take care of it. For example, if I make it to false, for example, if I make changes, let's say Still it's working, is it? Yeah. So a equal 10 and b equal 20, for example. In this program, I just made a debug equal to false. Okay. This time I made these changes. I did control plus S. Okay. Still, what did happen? Nothing happened actually. Did you see it? The reloading is not happening. Why? Because I made app.run debug equal to false. So when you say debug equal to true, so it would check the heartbeat of the application. Okay, meaning it would print everything, and even it will scan, it will keep an eye on the application code. When there is a change, automatically it reload the page. So now I just updated to debug to true, and I had to change it. Okay, I had to save it, and this time if I change, let's say c equal 30, right? If I save it, now application will start restarting. One second, we have to stop the server, right? So now debug equal to true. Now I just say d equal to 40, for example, and if I do a control and s, automatically restarts. Okay, this is the one like debug to flags, completely monitoring the application. Whenever there is a change detected in the application, it simply restart the applications to affect the actual changes. Got it? So in interviews also they'll ask, "Hey, like what is like when you're writing your program itself, you should write like this: app.run debug equal to true." Got it? Yeah. So this is one thing. And when it comes to the see, application is working. Okay. Application is running, not working, it is running. You run the application and you want to test you need to test your APIs, for example. Let's say talk about any API, right? Here. So what is the API name? To get every record. See here what you're doing. Session.query, user information is a table dot all. What it will does? It does taking everything else, right? So if I go ahead and test the API, see in the KXN, I created one app. In this, what is the method name? Go back to the code. Here API name is get records. This is the first thing, and you need to understand what is the where in which port application is running out. Okay, so when you go to small, yeah, here this is application URL, have it here, and then you should pass the API details, right? So what is the API details? If I go back here, this is the one. Okay, if I go back here, get records, right? Did you see it? So you got all the records from the database. Your application is working fine. Did you see it? Yeah. So now we understood like how we can make a basic application, right? Even this particular one, right? If you look at this program, and hey, thank you, Advesh, for bringing this up actually. So since we had a duplicate code, so meaning whenever we do this line, right? If you see here, this line is keep on what we can say. This particular line is keep on repeated for many functions, right? Many features. So what we can do is we can have a separate function to do this operation. Okay, to removing this to popping up this specific data. Yeah, so that it will your function looks very neat. You got it? So what I'll be doing is I'll be writing a helper function, but for now no problem, that's okay. So but yeah, anyway, Advesh has done this, right? So we can hey Advesh, can you share your GitHub URL? Is the code pushed to the mm-hmm. Like push everything that you had, okay? So don't keep any local changes. I need every changes required in the GitHub itself. Understood? Yeah, we will present that style. Yeah. All right. So in this particular use case, is it a good use case actually? See, getting every record, that's fine. But we also need to check the authenticity of the things. Okay, that's fine. Currently, we were not doing any conditional check. So whoever using, let's say in my system, w- by using the same URL. So since a get call, right, only get call can be tested properly in the browser. So for example, if you like what exactly happens, right? So when you're using this, when you're using this application, one second here, when I go back here, right, what you are seeing, you are still seeing something, right? Do you see it? Meet.google.com. So this is the host. Understood? Like the way meet.google.com is the host, and this is the endpoint, guys. Did you understood for this particular page? As soon as I create a new invite, right? This invite will be get updated. Understood? Like way. So when I do this, when I go ahead and use this, see, since the application is running, because this is not external IP. Okay, this is my local IP. So when I use this same application, if I go here running this, so since it is my local system, right? In my local system, I can able to test this API, test this out easily. Did you get it? In local system, I can easily test my API services. So this is a get call, even in the browser. But why it will not work? For example, if I share this URL with you, it will not work to you. Why? Because my system is not a public system, right? Let's say Google is a public. Let's say when you do a google.com, for example, google.com, right? So this is a public server. Okay, the Google application is running on the public server, right? So what exactly happens? If you see here, this is IP address. So 127.0.0.1. This is a host IP address. Since it's a local, for all local, the host IP address is 127.0.0.1. Okay, yeah. So when you do this, see google.com. What basically happens is it I think we can talk about later with how this resolve the DNS and get into the actual application where it is hosted. We can come to that point later. But generally, what my intention is that when you're running your application locally, this is only local to you. This is not accessible for anyone else in the external world. If you want to do it, then what you have to do is you have to host into cloud platforms like any platform, AWS, GCP, or even there are many hosting platforms like GoDaddy, Hostinger, many platforms. We can go and host your application there. And when you are hosting there, you will get an external IP address. Okay, once you have external IP address, then only you can access this application from the external world. Got it. I think we will try to implement this. This is a very straightforward application. It is just like that. We can implement it. Okay. Um, with the database and every information, we can implement this out. Okay. Yeah, we will do it. I think mostly in this next session, right? We will come with that point. Okay. Yeah. So even when like let us understand this particular API. Okay. So guys, and one more thing, when it comes to get queries, right? Get services. In get services, majoritarily we don't find any complexity, because what we do is simply we will make a query from the database and give it to them. Understood? And also we should also implement some sort of API service. Today, right? What the expectation is that implement one API service. Okay, implement only one API service, but that would solve. Let's say this would work. This should work. Currently, it is giving everything, right? So by using this, let's say get service, it would give you every record. Okay, but I don't want to implement multiple API services for see, once you have this three records, for example, right? You can also filter based on the need. Let's say in the same service, if you are providing a query parameter, if you are not providing any query parameter, then it will get everything. If you are providing some query parameter, you got it, then it should only your query should only be like that. Okay, let's do this. Let's say, for example, let me help you out, trying out for one example. Let's say this is getting everything. I don't want to get everything, but I need to implement the same service. This time, let me also provide some query parameter. Let's say where employee ID. Okay, now I will be passing employee ID, emp id, employee ID. is, so what are the available employee IDs here? So you can see employee ID 2, employee ID 3, and employee ID 1. You got it? There are three employee IDs. So if, for example, if I pass the employee ID for the same, if I make the API qual, still you will get all the records because I just passed the query parameters, right? But I didn't filter based on the query parameter. You got it? Yeah. In such case, what you can do is, see, so we have implemented multiple, no? Guys, did you understood? Based on employee ID, based on name, based on kids, like whatever it is. Did you got it? So now what we do is we will implement only one API, but it serves many use cases. Did you get it? Komal, Dinesh, and everyone, did you understood? We will implement only one API service. Okay, cool. And so here, in order to make such kind of changes, right? What I'll do is I'll just remove all the print statements. Okay, and this way, this one also I'll just kick it out. That's fine. I'll write a separate function for this particular alone. Df say, what we can say, uh, we can see what this will do. Once again, what this function is doing. It is simply popping out the unnecessary things, right? Clean. Okay, for example, let's say function name is clean dict, or converted to clean dict, for example. Converted to clean dict. No, clean dictionary in the sense, no, actual dictionary only, but we don't want to have this, right? So we want to remove this. So I created one function where it takes dictionary value, my dictionary or data, let's say record. Okay, it takes the record as the value. Guys, everything I'll just copy paste, okay, here. And what I'll do is I'll implement the same logic. Did you see it here? Where whatever, like whenever we make the changes, so I'll say um, record equal to or equal to, that's fine. So what they're doing here inside, they're making, okay, so since it's a record, right? Dictionary or dot copy, or if I do a normal copy, it will do a reference. But if I do a deep copy, ordered copy, because it's a dictionary, right? Dictionary would allow directly, I guess. Yeah. Hmm. Deep copy, and then I'll be doing this activity. Okay. So what I'll be doing is, but what we can do, since it's a result, right? We will do the complete action out here. But anyway, this is not the priority. But for now, we will use as it is. That's fine. Should be fine. Okay. Since we are already working on one use case, right? Let me take it out. I'll help you out, guys, once again. So what we have to do is, let me take out the ideal screen. That screen is too good actually compared to this, which would give you a good readability. So when it comes to the application, yeah, got it. So what this would do is generally it is getting every record, right? Yeah. Now that the thought process is we need to check if there is any query parameters. Okay. So how we can check how to check if there is any query parameters passed. We can do a number of ways. Um, so for example, allowed query parameters. Let's say we will create. So for example, for this, let's say user cannot send just like that. Let's say when it comes to user, right? He should not send anything. Let's say email ID is fine, but for example, let's say some junk name and user is still sending, and he'll say like, hey, your application is still working. You got it? So what is allowed query parameters? Age is okay, country is okay. You got it? You should have a proper list of query parameters list. Let's say I'll give you a heads up and show you what are the valid params, query params. Okay, we will put all the valid query params, whatever for example, in my case, I would say emp id, for example. You can extend this. Okay, emp id is a query parameter, and name, employee name, for example, let's say emp name. Got it? So I just made a, what we can say, I just made a valid, I created a list of valid query parameters. Got it? And when we are getting a request, so when we are getting a request, let's say user is sending this, let's say from the UI, he's sending this value. Got it? So when I'm making a call, what I should do is I should check the query parameter. So I need to get the query parameter data. I need to capture it. So how we can capture? So currently, for known ones, right? So we can easily capture. Okay. For unknown query parameter, how we can check? Is that okay? Directly like rs dot get, sorry, request dot rs dot get. That would give you the parameter information. But if you want to get the parameters list, right? One second, let me quickly check that out. Get request parameters. Uh, get request parameters list. For one, it is easy. Like there is some function will be available, I guess. What is it? Request dot get params data. We need to check, right? We need to check the actual request dot get. No, this is not the one. Can quickly can quickly someone find out what is the method for for fetching every parameter. Sir, one it is easy. Oh, okay. I think we are already there. My bad. So what we are doing is we are already doing this way, right? For example, let's say request dot or okay dot get. We are using dot get, correct? So which method it is? Dot get is the dictionary method, is it? So for example, if I do this, then I'll get uh, request dot get args. The get args itself a dictionary. Okay. So we will try to understand how it is happening. Okay. Yeah. So if I go back here in the program itself, so since the request is coming here, uh, right? So let me start capturing the parameters. Query params equal to query params equal to how we can do request dot args. So for example, if I just make this, if I just try to print this out alone, okay, print f string query params is query params. This is easy, right? See, if you don't practice, then it will look very bad, hey, what this guy is doing, right? But when you do this, see, it printed, and when I go and see, like since I made a call to this one, right? So now let me go and see what params, right? Did you see this? So query param is immutable dictionary. Understood? And you can also print the length. Query param is this, and length. Length is how you can do a length. That's also easy. You can do this ln of query params. This you can do. Make sense? Query param is this, and length is this. If I export this program, no, oh sorry. If I trigger this program, like I made changes, and if I make a API call, it's still working. And if I go and check, see, did you see this? I'm getting the query parameter. See, this is a query parameter. This is our dictionary. Okay. And whose length is 1? Understood? If I pass one more parameter from here, let's say x parameter and 10. If I entered, if I go and check, see, did you see this? Now it become 2. What is the length? 2. Guys, did you understood? Yes or no? Like whatever the query parameters we are sending from the now UI, or even from using Postman. So we are able to capture the parameters length, isn't it, guys? Hemant, yes or no? Based on the arguments, whatever the arguments we are passing, in the request, we are simply capturing it. We are not doing any operations. Hemant, did you understood or no? Right? We are simply capturing it. Okay. And in order to make some changes. So currently, if the query parameter length is 0, which means that what does really mean? If I just uncomment this, let's say uncheck this, this is fine. And if I go back to the application, right? What is the query parameter length now? It should be 0, isn't it? Not this one. Yeah, here. Immutable this. What is the length? Length is 0. Length is 0 means what? Length is 0 means user is not, he don't want to filter anything. You got it? So when it comes to the large applications like Flipkart, right? The one which we were discussing for our use case is Flipkart website, right? So that's where your application, your API should work exactly based on the user behavior, right? So if user want to go everything, that's fine. User want to check mobile phones, for example, let's say if they say mobile, okay? If they say mobiles, and he want to go with a brand as Samsung. Did you get it? What I mean? So now if I enable, did you see this? Mobiles, mobile equal to Samsung. Even when he make a call, then he should only display mobile with Samsung as the brand. Guys, did you understood? Like how like what is the use case I'm talking about? The use case is exactly what I'm referring is you should create one only one API which serves many requests based on the user behavior in the UI. Got it? Yes? No? I want to go with the name. Dinesh, did you understood or no? Yeah. How about Aparna? Got it? Yeah. For you, it's heavy. I'm sure about it, but please bear with us. Okay, you will come to know. And Hemant, and Kiran, Komal, did you understood what's I ask now? Got it? Hmm. Got it. So, guys, now what we need to do, right? Currently, this is what the actual API. Okay, but based on the user behavior, based on the user behavior, we have to just keep changing it. Understood? So let me give a small heads up that how this can be implemented in the backend. Okay, so this is, I think, 1 second, everybody. For now, this is no. I will just remove it. Okay, so that it will look very simple. I mean, we are not doing anything in that particular one. We are simply, what we do is, what we were doing there is we are simply removing one of the dictionary key, which is not good. Okay, cool. So what is the expectation is that what we need to do is see this API, and if, for example, length of if length of request 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 dot aux, got it, equal to 0, then only you should do this. Say yes or no. Yes, right? Then only we are doing this. And now now you have to serve many things based on the argument. For example, this way. Hmm? But I will teach you in a hard way initially, and then we will go ahead and start working on our basic. We will again optimize it. For example, if user is sent, let's say type is not this way. So if the user is sending type is mobile, for example, he want to get all the mobiles, for example. So he's sending this parameter, query parameter, right? And this how this can be captured. So this can be captured in the backend. So this is, see, if user interested mobile phones, for example. Okay, so use cases get all brands mobile info. Got it? So how this can be doing? How we should do? You should see if user is interested in mobile phones. If user sends, let's say, his interest type is mobiles from the UI like this. You got it? If he sent, he has to get the data like this. But this dummy data, we will still improvise this program. Okay, cool. If I go back here, if user is interested in mobile phones, get all the mobile brand information. Got it? And if user sends what's mobile, like let's say type, for example, if type equal to, or just say, yeah, if type equal to, how can say, product type, say, so type is a Python built-in function to get the type of the variable. So that's why I just removed and product type equal to, or you can say like product type directly, that's okay. Product type equal to, so how we can do, request dot args dot get of type. And once we have this type information, so what is our query becomes? So even before doing this, if we should say, if type string, okay, if uh, type string, the parameter which is sending from the UI, right? So for example, this one, if type is available, so I'm checking if type is in the request dot args. Got it? If it is available, if it is available, if this type is available, then only do this. You got it? Otherwise, what happens? Let's say if we don't do a conditional, conditional filter, I'll be in trouble because if user is not sending type, right, so your application will get crashed. Got it? Hmm. In this, now if type is in this, what we have to do is we have to update prototype equal to this, and say here, let's say result equal to session dot query. Got it? And this time you'll pass this query into the table, user information table dot filter. Guys, if you don't understand this, you just refer the previous sessions where I clearly explained with SQL query equivalent to Pythonic style of querying, isn't it? Yeah, Dinesh, did you get it? If you don't understand this, just refer back the previous notes, previous session data. Got it? Yeah. User information dot. So like type, right? When it comes to type, we need to check what exactly the type one. So, oh, so currently what I'm executing, employee ID, this is user information table, right? Oh, we were not doing for that particular one. Okay, no problem. Let's say, no, in this example, okay, I'll give you based on this example. Okay, for example, if I need to get the department wise, for example, so I'll change this type to department. So because I don't want to waste our time for doing other example, but let's say department is IT, for example. So I'll be getting department, and then your actual text should be if department in the request.org. Then only say department equal to request.org department. You're taking this value and store into department variable. Okay, user dot. If you go back to the one, user dot depart. Got it? Here. Equal to w. Yeah, you should use single equal to, and then depart. Got it. So what this particular one will do is, which would which would get you all the results. So what I will do is, I don't do any removal, cleanup and all. I'll simply return string of results, because if I do a string of results, so it will not cry. Don't worry, I'll tell you why I'm doing it. Str of this. Okay, for example, if I exactly copy paste here, if I replace this, okay, how come this is become big and this is one is big and one is small? Methods equal to this. Did we miss anything here? These two exactly same, right? Get records, fine. Methods. Oh, here, okay. Some space. Yeah, space is not. Okay, no, got it. And session dot query. Yeah, what happened here? Cannot assign. Oh, okay, okay. Here, this double equal. It looks. Yeah. If I save it, see your application should start reloading. Just reloaded, is it? Yep, reloaded. Or you can stop and restart the application. So now what this do is, if I make a, let's say if I don't do a, if I do a normal search, it will get you all the records. Okay, all the records, some information, three record information. But anyway, I'm not printing out, uh, I'm not sending out anything. That's fine. I'm not converting this Python SQL Alchemy style to Python dictionary. So dictionary we can do. Uh, and yesterday, like not yesterday, other day, someone has written something that we can convert directly in the model itself. Okay, who is that actually? Is Komal to dictionary? Is it? Yeah, makes sense. And now when I do this, this will get you all the record information. And if I make this, let's say DEPT equal to IT, for example. So currently you are seeing three information, right? But when I make this call, let's see how many it will get you. So it got crashed. Your application got crashed completely. Absolutely fine. Go back and understand what is the issue. Request.args. So type error. It's an immutable object is not callable. So what they're saying is, we don't do a no should not line number, what is the line number 58, right? If you just scroll to line number 58, so it's saying like it's, hey, you should not call it because it's a dictionary, right? So you can don't call it, simply request dot args. This is pretty much enough. Understood? So now change the make the changes. Application is getting reloaded. And if I go back here, did you see it? Now only one record came. Only one record. This record is ID record. So how we can come to know? When I go back here, now add that crap logic, which we were doing it here, right? Response equal to this in this place. Did you see it? And when I restart this application, in this place or other place, that is the only one. No? Got it. Now, if I go back here, restart the application. Did you see this? Guys, understood or no? No, did you understood the concept? Yes or no? Yes, right? Any confusion in this? Any confusion in this? Any confusion in this, guys? No? You good? Guys, same thing. If you want to try for other things, let's say now, if you want to try for other, let's say database related to activities, right? Currently, it is only department, right? And if you want to make a query based on, let's say, age, employee age, or name, experience, gender, department, country. So since I made it for a department, let me give one example for name, for example, so that you will be we will be implementing the same thing. Okay, for example, name. What I do is, this is not a, what we can say. Yeah, this is, I thought of having other table, that the product, we have implemented a product information table, right? So thought of running there, but that's fine. So get all users, get all users based on the department. Now, now this is get all the users based on the name, for example. That's the employee name. Okay. So here, what you have to do? Simple. emp underscore name. Makes sense, right? Did you get it or no? Here, checking name and username, user information instead of dpt, name. If I go back here, so this is the column name which I can take. I can directly go here, update name equal to whatever the name. So currently I'm taking the name and store into some variable, the employee name, and update it. That's it. You're done. You got it? So this would support. See, now since we made this two changes, right? Let me do one thing quickly. Simple. Like this, you can implement for every other, every other query. Guys, clear? Huh? Did you get it? Yes or no? So now this would serve. See, if user is not sending any query parameter, then y- you are getting everything and sending out. But if user is sending some data, some query parameter based on the mobile number. Okay, now I have given sample of this use case, right? So since you already implemented a product information table and you had some records there, so now your thing is you have to implement based on the this particular use case. You got it? Only one task for today. You should finish this off. This is real quick. If you understood this concept, you might finish in next 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you are done with your activity because every core logic, everything else I have given, you just need to copy paste this, understand what parameters you are sending out from the UI, and what kind of data you have to send back to the response to the UI. Guys, yes, like did you understand the use case? And here in this particular scenario, for example, let's say I'm talking about department, right? But when it comes to Flipkart website, so how it should be? For example, if we go here in the Flipkart, get there. So user will be sending. See, currently this is a get all records. Okay, get all product information. Understood? When user says mobile, that time you should only send mobile information, right? And let's say if you change the type to mobile to watches, it will you will get only you will only display only watches information, watch product information along with the image. Did you got it? Hey, and also you just try something, so also store the image. Okay, to store image you should store the image in a base64 format, but anyway that's fine. I'll explain that part. But your case is now you understood, right? So based on the previous day examples and use cases, you should think of Flipkart. Now now you should be in a position to understand what could be the use case. When user searches mobile, you should get every information. And also when you are giving it, right? So if you look at this, it is in some what we can say random only, but based on the recommendations. So for example, relevance or sort by or popularity. You got it? Low to high or high to low. Did you see it? There are a number of solutions that you can provide. So my recommendation is that work on like open Flipkart and understand the use case. So, okay, for example, let me execute this by sort by. For example, sort by prices high, low or not. Let's say minimum is 700, maximum is 1500, for example. So you should also send this query parameters from the UI and understand how this can be implemented. Okay, so since I have given some use case, you should also start experimenting for all the. See, the expectation is that first experiment with all the query parameters of the table columns, and then once you're done with that, right, then again we can optimize. So currently only one, right? But when it comes to the real time use case, uh, people would say like watches, and also say I need Apple Watch. You got it? So we should display even Apple watches available, watches, all watches. But see, if I don't give this brand, right, it would get you all the watches. But when I also add a brand to it, right, so this would give me, oh okay, so this is watches, and this, let's say if I don't give anything and some random query parameter, right, when I do this, it should say like nothing is present. Did you see this? No result. Sorry, no result found. Guys, did you understood? Yes, no. You understood this use case, right? Even in the real time, we exactly do the same thing, right? We need to understand uh, how this can be, like what your API should return. So in this case, API is not returning anything because they have sent some dummy data to the backend. Sorry, to the backend. So this is not a valid query parameter. In this case, what you can do is you can simply go here, create a valid, let's say valid names or valid query parameters, valid query parameter called this, okay, and like this you just keep appending whatever it is available, right? And then, so for example, if department or whatever it is, right, so you should also say, when once you got the query parameter, okay, you can also fetch, you can also read through it, okay, you can also read through it. If query parameter is not available, if query parameter uh, if the query parameter which user sends, which is incorrect, right, so you should not return anything. Say that it's like a bad request. uh, Also say some message saying that, hey, your request does not have a valid query parameter, that's why we were unable to serve the data from the backend. Got it? Make sense? Any questions on this, guys? In this particular use case, I'll be sharing this use case data. Once again, let me go back here. What I'll do is I'll just make a comment to this, and I'll share you this use case. So this should be completed as soon as possible, but not with this program. Don't execute my program and tell me, hey, I executed, but nothing is working. Okay, because you might create this user information table and implement the API based on the based on the use case, right? So you should be in a position to understand what and how it should be implemented. That's critical. Yeah, got it. So I have I have the, all this for day actually. So if you implement and tell me, I can provide you other use case even with advanced optimization techniques.